Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Monin Premium Gourmet Syrups and Glenmorangie.
It's another Tipple Time. I'm Jonathan Pogash. This is our regular cocktail segment where I make you a delicious cocktail, sometimes seasonal, sometimes evergreen, as we call it, with some of my favorite brands. So here's this one that I call the Dragon Slayer, and we're going to start. I'm just going to go right into it, everybody, because I'm very excited to make this drink, and I'm very, very thirsty. So first of all, we're starting with some. These are called Wildfire Bitters. It's actually a CBD, cannabis extract bitters. So I'm adding just a drop, one single drop to my mixing glass. You see this beautiful fancy Japanese mixing glass, etched crystal. I'm using some Jerry Thomas Decanter bitters. I'm doing 2 dashes. You may be thinking, well, Jonathan, this is kind of like an old fashioned. Are we doing an old fashioned? And yes, this is a variation on old fashioned, but with really interesting ingredients. So my sweetener is going to be this Monin dragon fruit, which is really nice. It has this really excellent, flavorful essence to it. I'm adding 1/2 ounce into my mixing glass, and it has this really bright, bold color that reminds me of the bottle of Glenmorangie Lasanta, which is why I'm combining these ingredients. Also, they work very well together because the Glenmorangie Lasanta is aged in sherry and bourbon casks. So it adds this really interesting, raisin wine element. I'm using my jigger, of course. I'm adding 2.5 ounces of the Glenmorangie Lasanta. You see that color? It's this really nice, bright ruby red. And now I'll add some ice. Yeah, we'll just fill the mixing glass about halfway, just like that. And I have my pineapple spoon. We will give this a stir. And we can chit-chat, while I stir, because, of course, when you stir a cocktail, it provides water in the drink, and it makes that cocktail the perfect temperature. And you have to do it for the right amount of time. If it's too short, it will be too strong, not as diluted. If it's too long, it'll be too diluted, too weak. And that is just about the right amount of time. I have it kind of memorized, muscle memory, they call it, right? And here we have my beautiful rocks glass with some big ice cubes, and I'm just going to strain that right out, just like that. Oh, the viscosity, it's nice and viscous, which is basically the sort of a thickness of liquid. And I'm going to add, just because, I'm going to add another extra little drop of the CBD bitters. Just a couple drops right on top, just like that. And that will add to the aroma as well. We'll give it a little taste. Oh, yeah. Some nice fresh red berry fruit in there. Hold on. Oh, that is a very, very complex cocktail with this really interesting mouthfeel. The Glenmorangie Lasanta adds this roundness, and that dragon fruit adds this kind of fresh berry, fresh red fruit flavor. The bitters kind of round everything out. This is a darn good cocktail. This is also my book, which is the same color, by the way, the Mr. Boston Bartender's Guide, right? Love it. In any case, cheers to another episode of the Cocktail Guru podcast. Love you all. Cheers.
Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Glenmorangie and Monin Premium Gourmet Syrups.